Good morning. Today I'm going to talk to you about Alph River. Where does the Alph River start? The Alph River in Antarctica originates from Troutland Lake and its inflow tributaries. It flows approximately 15 kilometers along the side of the Cottlezill Glacier before draining into Walcott Bay, located in Victoria Land. Where does it end? The Alph River ends at its mouth, where it drains into Walcott Bay, which is located in Victoria Land, Antarctica. This bay is part of the larger McMurdo Sound region. What states or countries does it flow through? The Alph River flows exclusively in Antarctica, specifically along the Scott coast in Victoria Land. It is a small river that drains in the Coltex Glacier during the austral summer. The Alph River flows exclusively in Antarctica, specifically along the Scott coast in Victoria Land. It is a small river that small drains the Coltex Glacier during the austral summer. The river rises from the Calcolate ice and includes several water bodies along its course, such as Pyramid Ponds, True Lade, Walcott Lake, Houchin Lake, and Alph Lake, before ultimately flowing into a subglacial stream beneath the Coltex Glacier to McMurdo Sound. The Alph River in Antarctica, like many rivers, can be described in terms of its upper, middle, and lower courses, although its characteristics may differ somewhat due to the unique Antarctic environment. Here's a breakdown. Upper course. Appearance. Narrow. The river is typically narrow at its source, flowing from the true lake and surrounding tributaries. Steep. The gradient is steep as it flows rapidly down the glacier. Fast flowing. The water flows quickly due to the steep gradient and the melting ice from the glacier. Landforms created. V-shaped valleys. As the river cuts through the landscape, it can create V-shaped valleys, especially in the steep, rugged terrain near its source. Gorges. In some areas, the river may carve out narrow gorges. Middle course. Appearance. Wider. As the river flows away from the glacier, it may widen somewhat, especially as it collects water from tributaries. Gentler slope. The gradient becomes less steep compared to the upper course. Slower flow. The flow rate may decrease as the river moves into a flatter terrain. Landforms created. Meanders. The river may begin to form gentle curves or meanders as it flows over a gentler slope. Floodplains. In some areas, the river may create floodplains, which are flat area adjacent to the river that can be inundated during high flow periods. Low course. Appearance. Wide. The river may become wider as it approaches its mouth. Flat. The terrain is generally flat, especially as it near Walcott Bay. Slow moving. The flow is typically slow as the river loses elevation and approaches its delta. Landforms created. Deltas. If the river deposits sediments as it enters the Walcott Bay, it may form a delta. Estuaries. The area where the river meets the bay may create an estuary, which is a transitional zone between river and marine environments. So, now I'm going to show you two quick pictures of where in the river is saltwater found and where is freshwater found. Over here, you can see that over in this first picture, you can see there is salt water. In this part, there's salt water, and if you see in the other side, where it's typically just coming from the mountains, it is fresh water. As from the mountain, it directly comes fresh water, and then when it mixes into the seawater, then it is salt water. More information of water and rivers. Our planet is about 71% covered in water. Where can all the water be found? Let's dive in and find out. What do you know about water? Water is a substance made of hydrogen and oxygen. It can take solid, liquid, and gaseous forms. About 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. Salt water. Salt water is a type of water that contains a high concentration of salt. Salt water can be found in oceans and seas. It is a habitat for organisms such as sea, grass, sharks, and whales. Fresh water. It is a type of water that has a very low concentration of salt. Fresh water can be found in bodies of water such as lakes, streams, rivers, and glaciers. It is a habitat for organisms such as water lilies, insects, and amphibians, etc., like humans also. So, an ocean is made up of salt water, sorry. A glacier is made out of fresh water. Compare and contrast. First, salt water. High levels of salt and minerals, freezes at 2 Celsius or 28 Fahrenheit, slight basic or with a pH level of around 8. Now fresh water. Fresh water has low levels of salt and minerals, freezes at of 0 Celsius means 32 Fahrenheit, and neutral or with a pH level of around 7. Now, the thing that is common in both is that it supports aquatic plant and animal life and it is part of the water cycle. Distributions of water. Fresh water is 2.5, salt water is 96.5, and others is only 1%. Where can we find fresh water? 68.6% are found on ice caps and glaciers. 30.1 are found on groundwaters. 1.3 are in the form of fog or snow. How about salt water? So, first, in Atlantic Ocean there is 23%, in Indian Ocean there is 20%, in Pacific Ocean it's 50%. Remaining can be found in salt lakes and underground reserves. Quick recap. About 71% of the earth is covered with water. There are two types of water and all that are salt water and fresh water. 96.5 of the earth's waters are salt water, 2.5 are fresh water, and the rest are found in other solutions. Conclusion. The Alph River exemplifies the dynamic process of river morphology in a polar environment, from its narrow, fast-flowing upper course to its wider, slower lower course, and the river shapes the landscapes and creates diverse landforms. Each section of the river contributes to the overall ecological and geological characteristics of the region, highlighting the interplay between water, ice, and land in one of the most unique environments on Earth. Thank you. See you later in another video. Bye. If you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe.